American companies, they place this high emphasis on innovation. And where do you think innovation comes from? Mind, yes. Innovative mind. And how can we find the innovative mind most common? In what kind of team or what kind of environment or context?
Cross-culture?
Cross-cultural environment. Yeah, where diversity is promoted, wherever. So I used to work at a startup, biotechnology startup, because I didn't study biotechnology, but one of my best friends from Oxford, she found this startup and she asked me to join her startup, so that's what I did. And a lot of very high-tech companies are based, especially in biotechnology, they're based in Boston, US. And one of my very good friends, who's the CEO of this biotech company, he's actually a doctor. And he's trying to branch out to the US. And he said that the reason that so many biotech companies are established in Boston is because there is so much diversity over there. So they have not only the companies, but they have really highly sort of achieving academics, and they have really good universities, like Harvard is over there at MIT, and they have very well-known MBAs. So we have entrepreneurs, financiers, and we have academics, intellectuals, and we have entrepreneurs, and these very successful managers, right? So all in one community. So when you hang out, with your friends, and you go to this party, and you just started making random conversation, and ideas actually flow out of the casual conversation that you have in one of those parties, or any of the meeting rooms, and you can have a casual meetings as well. And there, because we have entrepreneurs, we have academics, who have the knowledge on the biology, and we have people who can actually finance those brilliant ideas into business, and we also have people who are very managerial, who are very good with the people, so they can actually help out setting the companies and running them as well. So, and then Boston, we have people from many different countries, right? More than 100 countries. So we have Indians, we have Koreans, we have Americans. Americans are very diverse themselves. So, so that's why innovation is so much cultured, and innovation just naturally comes out. So you really emphasize that innovation always happens where the diversity or the differences are valued. And that's something that I really want to convey to you, that, this is a small microsome. I mean, this is a small ecosystem. And we have from different nationalities, and we're from very diverse sort of backgrounds. And it'd be very nice if you can communicate as much as possible so that you can actually express your differences. And having the casual conversation will actually make you think differently. All right, the next page.
Hiring opportunity and fair practice. Hiring a diverse workforce requires intentional effort.
Right.
This includes writing inclusive job descriptions, advertising positions on platforms that reach underrepresented communities,
right,
and removing identifiers from resumes to reduce bias. Once hired employees must be given equal opportunities to grow and succeed.
Right.
This involves ensuring access to training, mentorship, leadership pathways, and fair performance evaluation.
Right.
HR practice must be regularly audited to identify and fix disparities in pay, promotion, and retention.
Right.
A fair and equitable workplace means employees, regardless of their background, have the same opportunity to thrive and contribute meaningfully to the organization's success.
Right, because companies like multinational conglomerates and these high-tech companies which promote diversity, they have so many people from different backgrounds. So I think it's meant to happen that some people, like some minority people, underrepresented people, they are actually, I mean, it's not intentional, but unintentionally like segregated or taken sort of receive some disadvantages. So like companies like Microsoft, like all these companies, they actually have schemes or like programs to help out those people from underrepresented backgrounds. So like in today's role play, we'll actually do the same. We'll actually deal with this mentorship program. I mean, where the African American, she's one of the persons, the roles that you will have to play, and she's being mentored by this white senior manager in the company. And then they have all these like cultural barriers and like cultural miscommunications, and how you actually deal with those. It's very important not only for your individual success, but for the success of the company. So these are the aspects that will be very prevalent if you are to work in any of the multinational like corporations, or even like NGOs or international organization. A lot of you, I know that you want to work in like international organization, or at least work in the Korean agency, working with the international agencies. So this aspect was very, very important. All right.
Investigating discrimination and promoting teamwork.
Right.
Discrimination in any form, whether based on race, gender, religion, or disability, must be actively addressed. Organizations should have clear anti-discrimination policies and provide safe, confidential ways for employees to report issues.
Right.
It is essential to respond swiftly and fairly to all complaints to maintain trust and accountability. Encouraging teamwork across diverse groups promotes understanding and cooperation.
Right.
Diverse teams that work collaboratively are proven to be more creative and effective. Leaders can organize inclusive team building activities, ensure everyone has a voice in meetings, and reward collaborative behaviors when employees work together with mutual respect, innovation, and job satisfaction increase.
Right. So, but having those like people from diverse backgrounds doesn't guarantee that it's going to be successful. So you basically have the right culture and right teamwork for the projects to be successful, right? So it's very important that like how you can actually manage to create this atmosphere or the culture where you actually get to collaborate with people from like different backgrounds, and communication is the key. I mean, that's why we are doing all these exercises and like all these like role plays, to actually get some training or get the flavor of how the multicultural communication works. All right. I mean, I put some like YouTube talks, so if you're interested, then you can actually have a look. Okay, what is cultural intelligence?
Cultural intelligence, or CI, is the ability to understand and effectively navigate different cultural contexts. It involves the ability to understand and appreciate cultural differences, as well as the ability to adapt to different culture norms and behaviors.
Right.
Cognitive versus physical versus emotional versus behavioral.
Right. So we have various kinds of intelligence. You know that it's not only about the knowledge. As normal people would normally think. We have emotional intelligence. We actually have a digital intelligence. And we now have cultural intelligence. And basically cultural intelligence means how sensitive you are to different cultural backgrounds or people from different cultures. So you can sort of decipher this like very small difference in other person's like perspective or language. You can sort of interpret what if he or she really means. I mean, it's not given, it's not expressed well, but you can somehow can get the feeling. So that's what it means by cultural intelligence. And of course, it doesn't. It's not given to you like automatically. You really have to learn, and you have to have. Most importantly, you have to have the experience, and that's what I'm trying to nurture in this class. All right.
Understanding emotional expression across cultures. Different cultures express emotions in varying degrees of openness.
Right.
Examples: in the US or Italy, it's common to openly show enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
frustration, or disagreement.
Right.
In Japan, Finland, or South Korea, emotional restraint is valued. Showing strong emotions in professional settings may be viewed as unprofessional.
Right.
Latin American cultures may use expressive gestures and tone to emphasize passion, which might be misunderstood as overly emotional in more reserved cultures. Tip: don't mistake indirectness for avoidance. Learn to read between the lines. Be observant and adapt to the level of emotional expression appropriate for the cultural context.
Right. So different cultures have different degrees of emotional expressions allowed in different settings, right? So I guess the Koreans are very reserved, like in terms of expressing their emotion. What about Thailand?
I think it's like similar, maybe, because it depends on the generation.
All right.
If it's that generation, like we can show the expression in professional context.
Okay.
But if it's my father or my grandparent generation, like they don't show the emotion.
Oh, it's
when
sort of similar in Korea.
Yeah, but
You guys are very reserved. The Korean students here, I found them very reserved. All
but
right.
it's tend to change now because our society try to put more effort about like we should have the right to speak our opinion
Mm.
more than emotional concerning.
All right. So it's more about like being direct
Yeah.
about your opinion, right? What about Philippines?
It depends on your position with hierarchy. The higher position, the more likely you can express your
Really?
emotion.
The higher up you are, you're
Yeah, 'cause
freer to express your emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you are the boss of a
Really?
of a company.
Oh.
Nobody gonna tell you that because you're the boss of the company.
Oh.
Even if you have a high rank.
Oh,
or
right.
high rank or high status, you can like show emotion freely.
Oh, that's different in Korea, right? The higher up you are, I think you're trying to be more restrained, right? In terms of like expressing your emotion. What about Bangladesh? Huh? You don't have. No one expresses. No one expresses emotion. All right. Okay. Even the young generation.
They think that making those like expressions, these might seem weak.
Oh, it's a sign of weakness. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's similar. What about Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan is also the same as Bangladesh.
Oh, it's a sign of weakness. So